Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Math Made Easy with Terry in 10 minutes. Okay, so wow, we've done a lot of videos already, and we're getting there. So we're building up. Now we're going to the next one, inverse of a function. Okay, so what is an inverse of a function? And when we say an inverse of a function, this is a process of generating the output of a function, and is assumed to be reversible. Basically, what I'm saying is, when you have, remember we talked about the pictorial representation of a function. So for instance, I told you that when you have an x, okay, then it goes through the function and it now give you the y. Is that making sense? Now, what we are trying to say for an inverse of a function is that we're generating the output of a function when we are believing that this is reversible. So that means we're trying to deconstruct what has been constructed already. So that means basically, in this case, we're moving from here, starting from here now. The y is going backwards through the particular function, the reverse, and we're not going to get the x. Is that making sense? So let's say a particular example, we have y, which is an f of x, is equal to x plus 5. Is that making sense? Okay. So sorry, this is going to be the inverse because we're going back now. So normally I showed you in the first video in the series or the third video. So you have to go back and look at the pictorial representation of functions. So I told you that how you represent this is going to be x, okay? Goes through the stuff. The function is that you have to add 5 and it's going to give you the y. Is that making sense? Now, so now what do you now do? Okay? In this case now, how do you now reverse the function? So in reversing the function is basically the same thing that we're going back. So that means we have this. So the x we have here, the input. Remember, x is always the input, okay? X is always the input. So to reverse this function, the answer we have is minus 5, okay? And this is minus 5, and that will give you what? This to the x, all right? So basically, the answer you get, you're trying to deconstruct it to make it constructed, all right? So usually I have two rules for this, all right? I have two rules for inverse of a function, okay, to make it very simple for you. The first rule is that replace every y with x, okay? So replace the y with x, and then you replace the x with y, okay? So the first rule is that replace every y with x, then you now replace the x with y. Is that okay? Then the next thing, then you now make the y subject of the formula. Okay, and that's that. You make the y subject of the formula. All right, so let's go back to that question we solved. So let's say we have y is equal to x plus 5. This is the function. I want to reverse this function. What do? I replace the y with x and x with y. So it's going to be x is equal to y plus 5. Can you see? So I now make y subject of the formula. You take 5 to the other side. So y is going to be equal to x minus 5. And this is going to be the inverse of that function. Okay. Let's pick another one. We have y is equal to 6x. The same rules. You place x with y and y with x. So x is going to be equal to 6y. Then to make y subject of the formula, you divide both sides by what? 6. So therefore, y is going to be equal to x over what? 6. Are you seeing? Then the next one we have is, let's say we have a question about, let's say y is equal to what? X cubed. All right, y is equal to x cubed. So we have a question like this. The first thing you replace is going to be x is going to be equal to y cubed. Now for y cubed, you have to make it subject of the formula. We then raise both sides to 1 over 3. Does that make sense? We raise both sides to 1 over 3. So it cancels out. So y is going to be equal to x 1/3, and that will be the answer for that. So you can see it's all the same thing and the same principle. Let's do another one. Let's maybe take it to trigonometry now. Let's say we have y is equal to cos x minus 1. Okay, so the same thing. We replace all the x with the y. So that means it'll be x is going to be equal to cos y minus 1. Does that make sense? Now, to get the cos away, we take the cos inverse of both sides. So the cos inverse of x is equal to the cos inverse, the cos y minus 1. This cancels that. Can you see? So y minus 1 is equal to the cos inverse of what? X. Then you now take 1 to the other side. So y will be equal to the cos inverse of x plus 1. All right, so let me just pick one more example, and that will be that for this one. So let's say we have y is equal to 1/x plus 3, and we're told to find the inverse. The same thing, you're going to put x is equal to 1/y plus 3. So we apply the law of inverse. If you inverse the left-hand side, you then inverse the right-hand side as well. So it's going to be 1/x is going to be y plus 3. Take 3 to the other side, so y will be equal to 1/x minus 3. That will be the inverse for that, okay? And that will bring us to the end for this video for inverse. So basically for inverse, is basically you're trying to deconstruct what you've constructed already, okay? So it's basically the process of generating the output of a function, and it's assumed that it's reversible. Is that okay? So what do? There are two rules to do. The first thing you have to do is that you have to replace the y with the x and the x with the y. Then after you do that, you make the y subject of the formula, and that will be that for that. All right, so I'm going to see you in the next video. The next video I'm going to talk about, I'm going to go to composite of a function. All right, I'm going to go to composition of a function. That will be the next video. All right. Don't forget, if you have any questions, put it in the comment section and let me know. We'll discuss about it. Thank you very much.